So first time ever, we're going to be trying some passive take it make it's for September, and here are the 3 projects we're going to make. So we have the thank you card, a really cute owl and leaf card, and this cute porch swing card that's interactive. So let's get to it. So for the thank you card, you'll end up with 2 pieces. You'll have the overlay thank you part and a piece of white cardstock. Your first step is to go ahead and fold your colored piece, and you're just going to do that gently, and you'll see that there is a score line, and you're just going to make sure that you can actually read the thank you. We just do that very gently. I start from the edges and just work my way down until I have it in half. I'm going to make sure I have a nice clean fold line there, and that's ready to go. So to give it some support, I'm going to go ahead and glue the white in. So the easiest way to do this is to kind of measure everything out so it's a little bit bigger than the space. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding glue onto the inside of the card. I'm going to make sure that I hit all of the edges, and a little goes a long way, but I want to make sure that I have a little bit on every line, including all the text. This is going to keep it from catching on anything. So you don't have to be super neat, but just get it all on there. And now I can go ahead and put the white down. So I just go ahead and line it up, make sure I don't have any extra glue on that side. Then I fold it, try and make sure it's all lined up. And so the one spot that it's a little hard to get it to stick is right at the top, and I just go ahead and push it, and that's one spot I'm going to spend some time on. The rest tends to stick pretty well. That's the thank you card. The second card is the owl card. The owl card comes with 3 pieces. So the owl brown layer, the leaf and tree layer, and the background red layer. So we're going to go ahead and start with the leaf layer onto the red. So the easiest way is, so we want it to be in this orientation, is we're going to fold in this tab right here. I'm going to fold it in. And then we want to be able to hide the tab, so we're going to put it to the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a bead of glue on the back tab, just like that. And put the red right here. Make sure that it's even. Then I'm going to fold it down and hold it together, and that'll glue that side. That's the yellow layer. So now, to do the brown layers, the owl will go ahead and face the opposite side of the tree. We have the same thing where we have a tab. It's a lot smaller because this is going to go on the tree side. So go ahead and fold it in very gently. You're going to try not to bend any of the frame. So you're going to open that tab up just a little bit. And we're just going to put a bead of glue on the inside of this tab, right here on the outside edge. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it to the back on the yellow side though this time. So this way, make sure we line it all up and fold it down. Then we're just going to hold it for a second, make sure that it gets nice and glued. And that's all you need to do for the owl card. The porch card is a little more complicated, so it has more pieces. So it's going to have a white oval layer. It's going to have the red card base with the oval in it, so this is overlay that. You also have a bag with a bunch of small parts. So these are all the decorative elements. So you will have the porch, the part for the decorative banner down here, the white layer that goes there. This is part of the porch, the little scallop that goes on the bottom, and some hearts. Hearts go in different spots, so you have 3 red hearts and 2 white hearts is what you need. So we'll go ahead and put all the elements together, and then I'll show you how the card actually assembles. And on this card, you will also need a little bit of string. So you can use any color, I just happen to have black string handy. So I'm going to start by putting my base together. So this one actually has a little bit of extra. If any of your cards have this, you can just go ahead and trim it away, or I just fold it in. So mine is kind of this tan, and I'm going to go ahead and fold the card base down in half on the nice line that I already gave you. Then I'm going to just put glue on the back of this. So I'm going to make sure that I have a good line all over so it doesn't come off. And then I'm just going to line it up with a circle. There is no, you should not be able to see any red along the border. So there's your card base. So the next part is we're going to put the porch together so it'll have a second to dry. So here's how we fold this out. So this bottom part folds, but not the arms. But the arms fold out like this. So I'm just kind of pushing at it. So you're trying to put it into a chair position basically. And this part folds just like that. The arms fold up. The idea is when you close the card, this will actually close itself. It'll flatten out. So that's that. So you can see it just, so this part folds down in half, and then the arms should fold too. So let's decorate this real quick. So the scallop goes along the bottom part of the chair. So I'm just gonna put a little bead of glue along the top line here. Go ahead and add it to the bottom as neatly as I can. And then the 3 hearts go on the top of the arms and 1 on the back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop a bead of glue on each one. I have a convenient picker-upper tool, but tweezers work really well for this, or your fingers. And I'm just gonna try to get them on the right spot. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's your chair. And that is the chair ready to go. So we'll set that aside and let that dry for a second. The next part is the banner. So the white goes on top of the red. So you can put any message you want on this. You don't even have to use this white piece, just try to make sure it's the same dimensions and you can print out your own message. And then on the each side, I'm just gonna put a white heart. Same thing, I'm just using a picker-upper tool. Make sure they're both facing the same way. So now we can go ahead and start assembling. So this part goes right down here. The banner goes on the bottom. I'm just going to add some glue. And that's that part of the card. And now we're going to do the swing with the string. So you're just going to need 2 pieces of string. They don't need to be very long. The thinner the string, the easier this part is. So my string is kind of thick for this. Embroidery floss would work great. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut it on an angle. So I haven't cut it in half yet because I'm just going to try to use the same piece. And I am going to thread it into the tiny little hole. I'm now going to knot it. I don't really care if it's too long because I'll trim it if I need to. And I'm just going to make a knot. So that's the nice thing about a bigger string. You can make a good size knot. So I'm just going to trim it so the knot end is not so long. And then pull it to the end and trim it. And now I can use the other piece and do the other side. Same thing. If you kind of twirl it in the same direction that the thread is turned, it'll kind of like drill in. That's just a little trick depending on the string you have. And same thing, make a knot, trim the knot, and now we have 2 strings to hold up this. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little dot of glue on the inside, figuring out where this lays. So I have found, so if you want to center it, you can kind of see where it's supposed to sit. So this string is actually kind of perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a bead of glue right in here and lay it down and leave it alone. Same thing with this one. I'm gonna lay it flat and add the glue. You're just trying to center it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's your card. Nobody's gonna judge you but you. And somebody will enjoy it. So I trim the excess, I give it a few minutes to dry, and then it's ready to go. Then you have a porch card that'll swing. I might have put these a little too close. And try to make sure your strings are even. That was my mistake. You're good to go.